done the if statement previously, but we've done the if statement on a flowchart. Okay? If you remember our flowcharts, right? In our flowcharts, we had a start, right? We had a start, and then we would have an input box. Right? This is what we were doing. We would say input num as an example. So we would input num, and then we had a decision. We had a decision. And for example, I'm just going to take something num greater than 10. That decision was a condition. And if it was greater than 10, if that was true, we branched in one way. And if that was false, we branched in another way. So we would say print. We would say print, and we can have some message, number greater than 10. And here, if it's false, we'll have another print statement to say number less than 10. And we can then have our stop. Okay. And this will join up there, which also brings me to the stop. So we've done a flow chart that's similar to something like this, right? And what this basically is doing at this stage here, at that stage, we have a condition. We have a condition. And that condition is checking if num is greater than 10. And that condition is either true or it is false. Keep that in mind. That condition is true or false. And when the condition is true, we follow one way. And when the condition is false, we went the other way. We went a different way when it was false. So at this stage, we checked the condition and different statements were executed. If the condition is true, one statement is executed. If the condition is false, another statement is executed. So this was a flowchart that we did, and we were checking. And the checking meant it was the if statement that we were working with, and that's now going to be converted into Python. How are we now going to look and work with an if statement? Okay? So, guys, at this stage, what's critical for you to understand is that the if statement has a condition. When we work in Python, we are also going to work with conditions in our if statement, right? So let's talk a little bit about conditions in Python. I think that should be the starting point. But understand that we are pretty much taking whatever we did previously in flowcharts with an if condition, and we are now converting this into Python. So let's talk about conditions. Let's talk about conditions. We know that conditions are either true or false. One of two values, right? The condition is either true or false. Cannot be anything else. It's one or the other. Cannot be both. Cannot be neither. It must be one of them, true or false. Now, in Python, if we want to check if two values are equal, we use the double equal to sign. When we want to check if one value is equal to, I'm going to call it num1 is equal to num2. Now, why do we use a double equal to sign? Why don't we use a single equal to sign? Guys, you have to remember that when we say num1 equals 10, we are using a single equal to sign. And that single equal to sign means assignment. And what does assignment mean? Assignment means take the value on the right hand side and move it into the left hand side. That's what assignment means. But in this case, I don't want to take one value and move it into the variable. I want to check this value against that value. So we cannot use the equal to sign. When we want to check for equality, we check using a double equal to sign. No spaces. And that means if num1 equals num2. Right? Keep that in mind. That's what we use when we want to check for equality. What if we want to check not equals? Right? So this is the symbol used for not equals. We use an exclamation mark followed by an equal to sign. That means not equal to. It's not equal to. It's just a convention. You just need to know and understand the conventions. So this is what we will use if we want to test something is not equal to. The next one is straightforward, less than sign. We've used that. This is less than equal to, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So these are symbols that will be used in our conditions. Right? These will be used in our conditions. I want to check if num1 is greater than num2. So in my condition, I will say num1 greater than num2. If I want to check num1 is not equal to num2, in my condition, I will say num1 is not equal to num1 is not equal to num2. So that is how it will be used in a condition. It's used in this way. Okay, so these are just conditions that we are going to be using inside of an if statement.